3:35, Jeff Katz, News Radio 1140 WRVA, a Tuesday afternoon. Lots of politicians playing crass political games with the rights of gun owners. President today says, hey, I've got some ideas here. Now, they're all common sense ideas. Really? Yeah. We're going to make anyone who's trying to sell one gun into a firearms dealer. Wow. Now, we understand, it might cost you a lot of money, and then you got to do these background check before you can sell that one gun that your uncle left to you, and it's going to be difficult. But, you can always just turn it in. You just give it to us. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's the real desire behind a lot of the people who are putting forward or helping the president put forward his idea. These are people who do not like private ownership of guns. Let's at least be honest about that. Can we? Can we at least be honest about that? So we mentioned the crass politicking going on from the president. A little bit closer to home. Attorney General Mark Herring the other day made it very clear that his political campaign for governor, which is already underway, right? Sure it is going to be predicated in large part in the attack, beating up on those who want to exercise certain rights, Second Amendment rights, want to have concealed carry permits. And the Attorney General says, we're not going to go along with this reciprocity anymore. We just don't think other states are up to the task. Well, I am not an expert in that area. However, former police officer Buddy Blanton is. Buddy heads up a group called Pegasus Firearms Training. This is what he does day in, day out, teaches classes all over the country, actually. And I wanted to reach out to him and try and get some insight into what it is that the Attorney General has done. Buddy, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you making time for us. So explain to everybody how the Virginia permit used to work and what it is that the Attorney General is really doing here.
What is going on is with one stroke of his pen, he has wiped out 25 states that we had reciprocity with in Virginia. Well, what that means is that I could carry my concealed carry into North Carolina, and if I was stopped by the police or something like that on a traffic stop, and I had a concealed carry, it was legitimate. I was fine and dandy to carry into that state.
Okay.
Because of that reciprocity agreement. When he broke that reciprocity, it broke it both ways. So it has to be a two-way street. So now when he breaks with North Carolina can't carry into Virginia. Virginia can't carry back into North Carolina. And all the border states, with the exception of one, West Virginia, has been kept. I don't know why he chose that one. However, you've lost the entire South also. And his statement behind that was the fact that he said that some of these states are handing out permits to people who are stalkers and drug dealers. And that was his statement. The thing about it is, that is nowhere near the truth. Here in South Carolina, you have to go through a background, a more stringent shooting component than you do in the state of Virginia. You're photographed, your prints are taken, things of that nature. I know of no state that I teach for that does that. This is just a grab at your right as a Virginian.
All right, so let me see if I understand this correctly then, buddy. Somebody says, okay, I want to get one of these Virginia carry permits. What is the process?
The process right now for Virginia is to take a safety course.
Okay.
So they take an NRA safety course, and at the end of that course, that's all they need is that safety course. And then they would go to their county or city, fingerprinted. There would be a background check. They would pay their $50 is what is usually paid, I think, in Chesterfield.
Okay.
And then it goes through the process, and they get it a few weeks later if they pass all of the background checks.
Okay, so it doesn't sound all that onerous.
No.
It seems to be a
Okay.
pretty straightforward, kind of an easy process. But that, I'm told, at least according to the Attorney General, is much more stringent than, say, North Carolina, South Carolina, Utah is another place, right?
Correct. That, again, is not the case. I teach Utah, South Carolina, Florida. Virginia is my easiest state to teach, to be honest with you. And all the other ones have shooting components, with the exception of Utah does not.
Okay. All right, so here's my question for you, buddy, because I know you're coming to town. You're doing a number of these classes, and I want people who have now lost the opportunity, even though they still have a valid Virginia carry permit. As you said, this reciprocity goes both ways. So when Attorney General Herring said, "Hey, we're not respecting theirs," then the other attorney generals in these other states say, "Well, we're not looking at yours favorably either." So they need to get something else, right?
Yes, right now we are offering in Chesterfield this month.
Mm-hmm.
At the Hampton Inn on Hall Street. We are going to be there every weekend teaching Utah non-resident concealed carry classes. These classes are about 4 hours long. We will fingerprint you, take your photograph. We will do the application with you. You will have the entire packet. You have to go through a safety course,
Okay.
as well as use of force and the Utah law component. And this will give you all of your border states. It will give you a total of 35 states that you can carry in this country. And if you go to my website at Pegasus Firearms LLC.com, you can see that site.
Okay.
I mean, you can see that map.
Okay.
And that is what we're offering right now. And it's $59 for that class. If they mention your name, Jeff, it's 10% off. If they come this weekend and mention your name, it's 15% off.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to raise the price if somebody mentioned my name. That's what I would do. I wouldn't. I know that you want people that are hanging out with me coming, but I love that, buddy. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make sure the link is up there because, again, I don't want people who today have a valid permit issued by the Commonwealth of Virginia finding themselves in a world of hurt because Mark Herring has decided to play these crass political games.
Absolutely. And the best thing about this, too, Jeff, is no matter he did keep the reciprocity with Utah. So if you don't have a Virginia, you can still get a Utah and still be good.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing is, even if he says tomorrow, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this out because Buddy's teaching these classes, and we're no longer going to do Utah," it doesn't apply to like North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee, the border states.
Wow.
All of it, you can still maintain that certification no matter what the reciprocity with Virginia is.
Okay. All right. So again, one more time for folks to get some information on the classes, the website, buddy.
Yeah, the website is Pegasus Firearms LLC.com.
Okay.
Or they can call me at 804-768-0294.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Look forward to seeing you. Buddy Blanton is a former police officer. He teaches these classes. He's stepped up, and I appreciate this. I really do. I know there are folks that have Virginia concealed carry classes, and I think you ought to take those as well. But understand what it is that is at stake here. And the reason that I'm mentioning this, the reason it's important to me, and again, I'm not a gun wacko. I'm not an anti-gun wacko. But I think if up until last week you were following the law, you didn't do anything wrong. But Mark Herring is playing these silly, ridiculous, pathetic political games. Why should you find yourself in a world of hurt legally? Because that's what would happen to you. So I happened to come across this. Buddy reached out to me again. He's an ex-cop and said, "Hey, cop to cop, can you let some folks know?" And I'm happy to do that. So we'll get it up there. What is it? Pegasus Firearms LLC.com. I think he's got the class schedule up. There's got a whole bunch of them coming up. And, you got to protect yourself. I think that's what this is all about. Because you know what? People who have concealed carry permits, despite what certain politicians want you to believe, they're not gun wackos. They're not crazy people. They're the most responsible people you're going to find in this country. They're taking the class. They're responsible gun owners. They're looking to protect themselves and protect their families. So that's why I want you to know about what Buddy's doing. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this. 345-1140, 345-1140. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter, Jeff Katz Show. It's all one word on Twitter, Jeff Katz Show, all one word. Use the hashtag Katz, K-A-T-Z. Feel free to send me an email if you'd like, jeff@wrva.com, jeff@wrva.com. Anybody happy with what the president has decided to do? You don't have to be a gun owner. In fact, you could very well hate the idea of guns. You should still be upset. You should be outraged that the president, be it this president or any other president, says, yeah, I don't really have to follow the rules anymore. And that's what he's doing. It is 3:45. Jeff Katz, News Radio 1140, WRVA.